News. Now, I just want to bring you some pictures that we've had in from the United States showing President Joe Biden, who tripped and fell whilst handing out diplomas at a graduation ceremony. This took place at the US Air Force Academy a little earlier today. Now, of course, the president is 80 years old, but just take a look at what happened here. The president tripping and falling, helped there, as you can see, by a few officials on the stage. After getting back up, he was able to walk back to his seat without assistance. And you'll notice there, he pointed back behind him, indicating perhaps what he tripped over. Well, the White House, they have responded. They said that President Joe Biden is fine. They said there was a sandbag on the stage and he tripped over it while shaking hands. You'll know, of course, President Biden running for re-election in 2024. Doctors have now declared him fit and healthy for duty after being physically examined earlier in the year. But of course, lots of questions about his age and his suitability to run for what will be a grueling campaign ahead of those elections. Republicans lining up their candidates to take on President Joe Biden, and at the age of 80, one of the oldest presidents. But the White House very keen to point out he was absolutely fine. He was able to get up and return to his seats. Those are the pictures there coming to us from the United States.
I've got to say this. The President of the United States falls over in front of all these people, and I think it's one security guard rushes forward to help him, but everybody who's sitting in here, all of these, look, he's looking the other way. Look, he's talking. Look, he's talking. He's just fallen over on the stage and he's smiling. Look, did you have a nice fall then? And then look, she's smiling. She's smiling. Like, this doddery old man has just fallen over on the floor and no one has taken any notice that the poor man has fallen over. Well, he's not a poor man, but look, he watched him do it, look! They don't do anything. So there he is, he's fallen over. And they don't blink an eye, they don't go, oh my God, or none of them rush to his aid. They carry on talking and doing whatever as he's now picked up and taken back to his seat. I have never seen anything more ridiculous in my life. You know what you would do. If you were standing there and you saw the president fall over, you would help. Not one of them are taking any notice. They're all talking and they haven't even noticed. They're not going, oh, Mr. President, are you all right? And they're all smiling here. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You don't even know what you're looking at. Look, he's smiling. He's smiling, she's smiling. What are they smiling at? What? They think it's funny that he fell over. Or, well done, part of the plan to make you look like a dithery old man who can't even walk across the stage. Cartoons these are all cartoons. Look, he's smiling. Did you enjoy your trip, sir? Oh, come on, it's ridiculous. You know, you think they'd send, I don't know, it's just ridiculous, come on. He doesn't even say, are you alright, Mr. President? He doesn't say anything to him. Look, the man's just fallen over in front of him and he watched it. And he doesn't say a word. I've never seen anything more ridiculous. But the president's okay. How ridiculous. He looks a bit like Trump there, doesn't he? All a game, darling, all a game against us, just to keep us all looking at something that isn't even real.
Graduation speech to the U.S. Air Force Academy's class of 2023. And just after all the graduates had received their diplomas, President Biden appeared to trip and fall as he was heading back to his seat on stage. He appeared to land, as you can see that video there, on his right hip. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez joins me now live. Priscilla, following that fall, he seems to have gotten up. went back to his seat, seems to be doing okay. Do we know what happened, and do we know his state now?
That's right, Jim, and he seemed to be in fine spirits after returning to his seat. He was helped up by a group of men, including an Air Force official and 2 Secret Service agents. But all of that after what was a long 5-hour ceremony where he had shaken hands with the cadets as they were graduating, over 900 of them. So that came towards the end of the ceremony. But really, the focus of the ceremony and his commencement address was focused on the world and the globe and how it's changing.
On closer inspection, for a millionth of a second, well, about 1 second, as it's passing, this woman puts her hands up. So the security guard stands up, and then this woman goes, "Oh!" But I don't know what goes on there really, because why is everybody blurry? We should be able to just see her like a picture. All she looks like is a cartoon. Look at her hands. They've morphed into her chin. You can't really see her fingers. And what is that? So immediately she cannot be sitting there with her hands up. But these two, her and the security guard, are the only ones that move, and none of anybody else notices, and she looks superimposed in anyway. And none of them notice. I want to look at his shirt. Look at that, look at his shirt. It's on there. Let's do that again. How can that be? Look. How ridiculous is that? That's how stupid it is. Anyway, thanks for watching.
The Imperial State Crown. Anyone who's been to the Jewel House at the Tower of London will know there are several crowns to be seen there, but only 2 of them are actually used. The St. Edward's crown and this one, known as the Imperial State Crown. It's normally kept at the Tower, but I have it here at Buckingham Palace because I wore it this morning at the state opening of Parliament. The crown as you see it now was made for Queen Victoria in 1838, but many of the individual stones have a much longer history. The oldest is probably this sapphire, which is said to have been worn as a ring by Edward the Confessor nearly 1,000 years ago. The pearls are said to have belonged to the first Queen Elizabeth. The story goes that this strangely shaped ruby was given to the Black Prince after a battle in Spain in 1367. I always like to think of it being worn by Henry V during the Battle of Agincourt. It's difficult to be absolutely certain about some of the other stones, because after the execution of Charles I, Cromwell had the crown jewels broken up and sold. The Black Prince's ruby, for instance, was sold for £4, but it was returned to the crown after the restoration of Charles II. Most of the bigger stones have had adventures. According to tradition, this huge sapphire at the back was carried off in his pocket by James II as he went into exile in 1688. It was over 130 years before it was restored to the crown. This great diamond is a more recent addition. The first star of Africa is even bigger and is in the scepter. Both of them are parts of an immense diamond which was found quite by chance by the manager of a mine in South Africa in 1905. Apparently, he just dug it out of the rock face with his walking stick. This is a model which shows you what it looked like. The whole Cullinan diamond, as it came to be known, was given to my great-grandfather, King Edward VII, on his birthday. Dutch jeweller, who had to split it before it could be polished, was so overcome by the responsibility that he fainted as he struck the blow. But he did it perfectly. There are two smaller pieces, which my grandmother always referred to as the chips. This crown is worn at openings of Parliament and after a coronation. The other one, the St. Edward's crown, is only worn once, at the moment of crowning.
When I saw this little video about her talking about the crown, that's all I was really interested in, is just understand, you know, this is her saying where they, well, in fact she changes the story, doesn't she? But then the moment I started looking at it, I started to see things that I knew I just had to do. So she has blue eyes, but in this footage she doesn't. She has kind of brown or black eyes. So what's that when it's at home? How she blinks. How she blinks. Most bizarre. But then, what you're looking at is something that's not real. What we thought was new technology obviously wasn't. It was happening back then. But it can't be true. How old would you say she is? In her 40s? 50s? So what's that? The 60s? 70s? It was happening before then. All the stuff that we were seeing today was happening then. The same. It doesn't even look like her. One eye is bigger than the other. That always seems to happen in this CGI thing. Those eyelashes, even her eyelid is superimposed in. I mean, does that really look like her? Does that really? Just there? Is that the other one? Because it's, you know, it's when they, two people are put together and it's then a copy to what this one is. So there's her superimposed and then they're able, and it's really the mouth that's going, and then the mouth. We have fake blinks and her mouth moving, that's it. So they're doing the fake blinks, and that's CGI'd in with them, deep faked. So we have the fake eyebrow, you know, eyelids, and the extra one added, and then the only thing as other than that is moving is the mouth added. I never thought she was really gonna look darker skinned, to be honest. But she does there, or he does. Because there's definitely somebody else there and they kind of look more manly. The deep-faked one.
Given to my great-grandfather, King Edward VII, on his birthday. Dutch jeweller, who had to split it before it could be polished, was so overcome by the responsibility that he fainted as he struck the blow. But he did it perfectly. There are two smaller pieces, which my grandmother always referred to as the chips.
I mean, very quickly I was thinking, oh, it looks like Mrs. Thatcher. Just there, but the mouth. is the deep fake. So it's a cartoon with a deep fake mouth. Maybe it's her talking. It's that fake eyelid. Fake eyelid. She's morphing with the background, which is impossible. So she's added to the footage as well. Yes. Anyway, we're coming to the end of this bit. So, yeah. So they were over this is the 60s, 70s, and they were doing this then. And they were obviously doing it before then. That background move with her, look, her hair. Wibble, wibble, wobble. Anyway, thanks for watching. I've seen this video floating around a couple of times, but it's on this channel here, Next Wex Backup. It was great to show because basically they feel the same. So it was really great. So I've subbed and I've liked this video, and we're going to play a little bit of it. And thank you very much to this person. They've had a good response, which is amazing. I'm so happy for them. I get shadow banned, but it all fits in, and I break this down, and I mean, it's like, oh, anyway, it's all strange, but thank you very much to this person. And you know, you just need to do your own homework. You need to film it, slow it down, and look at it. You'll be so surprised at what you see. But anyway, thank you very much to this channel, and let's carry on with a mixture of. This is incredible, really, this video, because not only do I think that he's a man, there is superimposed, trickery, things added, manipulated, and it's everything I do with the other stuff, all in this. And the changes, how much the person changes, how their dress changes, boxes around their dress, it just goes on and on and on, and I hope that you see it. Really, I do. Anyway, let the video begin.